my Spirit Airlines hack, my Spirit Airlines story. Now, I'm sure a lot of folks that have heard me, and man, I was in Publix yesterday, just kind of getting a couple items with Michelle, and had numerous people come up to me in Publix say, hey, how was Spirit? I'm like, tune in, 7:45 tomorrow. Now, I had a couple of long conversations. I was in Publix for about 30 minutes longer than I would have been. But I had, a bunch of people come up to me in Publix, and of course, I always like to meet, special listeners. If you're not like Special Olympics, okay? Fest gave me a look. I'm not talking about touch. All right, stop. Yeah, I had some great listeners come up to me in Publix. No, everyone wants to know the Spirit deal. Even at this is amazing. Even at the gate at Tampa International on Sunday morning, people were coming up to me. Hey, MJ, your first Spirit. People on my Spirit flight. For instance, who was the woman from, hang on a minute, I thought I made a note here. There's Silva, a real estate agent by the name of Silva from Polk County. She came up to me and said, hey, MJ, how you doing? And she introduced herself. I had 4 people at the Spirit Gate at Tampa say, hey, you're on my flight. They said, hey, I wondered if you were going to be on my flight. Seriously. So I flew Spirit Airlines for the first time, as many of you are aware, over the weekend. This is after I said I would never, ever fly Spirit. Just because of all the incidents, it just seemed that, Spirit with, some of the passengers, they've had, maybe a higher degree of incidents over the years. But I think a lot of the other airlines have caught up now with just incidents with bad passengers. But I never thought I'd fly Spirit. And one of the things, as I've mentioned several times, the former CEO of Spirit gave an interview where, I'm going to paraphrase here, he said something like, we can treat our customers like crap. We can do whatever we want to our customers. Our prices are so low. Where else are they going to go? And I'm like, I'm not flying your airline. I mean, that's your attitude. But unbelievably, folks, my dad's kind of ailing. I mean, he's almost 82 years old. He's slowing down. He's having just some trouble. So, I'm trying to make more frequent trips. Michelle and I drove over back in March for the whole weekend. And then over the holiday weekend, I flew out Sunday morning. I was on a 10 a.m. Spirit flight to Fort Lauderdale on Sunday morning. And then I came back to Tampa yesterday morning, landing at 9 a.m. yesterday. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, what is my verdict? What is my review? I never thought I'd say this, but I had a very pleasant, efficient time on Spirit Airlines. Yeah, not that I'm going to become a Spirit spokesman all of a sudden, but I'm just saying that.
Hi, this is MJ for Spirit Airlines.
I'm just saying that.
Run, MJ, run! You're running through the airport.
I had a very pleasant experience. So the flight left Tampa. We pushed back early on Sunday morning, if I'm not mistaken, either right on time or a minute early, if I'm not mistaken. We got to Fort Lauderdale in like 37 minutes. Versus me driving 4.5 hours for what I paid for these tickets. My round trip was like $117, whatever it was. It's like $115, $116, $117 round trip. I was like $57, 50, whatever, $58 each way. I think it was $58, $58 each way.
So you spent more than that in gas.
Dude, we've got an X5 with the M motor, and man, that thing is a guzzler. I love the vehicle. It's a fantastic vehicle. But I could not drive for less than that. It would cost me more to drive, plus 4.5 hours each way, versus we were like 37 minutes going down, and coming back, we were 38 minutes. 38 minutes coming from Fort Lauderdale back to Tampa yesterday.
How much total time was invested? You got to the airport, what, an hour early, 45 minutes early?
Yeah, for the most part. Fort Lauderdale was jammed yesterday morning. But also, I got great rates on a holiday weekend, and I booked this last Wednesday, so I kind of booked last minute. But I was traveling sort of off-peak, even though it was a holiday weekend. So I flew out on Sunday morning in the middle of the holiday weekend. So who's really doing that? Well, apparently a lot of people because the flight was full. But still, I got a great rate coming and going, and then I left at 8 a.m. yesterday morning, whereas I'm sure the most travel happened afternoon on Memorial Day Monday. So here's my hack. And I shot a video. If you haven't seen the video, I shoot a video. I'm walking down the aisle on Spirit Airlines, and then I walk into the lab. I walk into the restroom to shoot the video because I wanted to be able to speak somewhat loudly so you could hear me over the airplane noise. And I talked about Spirit. You know, one of the things I noticed about Spirit, the aisles are wider because the thins are like paper thin. And the width of the seats, the seats are definitely more narrow. The armrests are like dental floss. No, it's not that. The armrests are very, very thin. So it's not so you take the width of the armrests from each side and you deduct it. So the aisle's much wider on the Spirit Airbus 320 than on a typical plane. The seats are kind of hard plastic, and the tray table was like the size of one of those Andes little mints. You know, the Andes chocolate mints.
Andes candies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Andes. So the tray on my flight going was a tiny little thing like an Andes chocolate mint little rectangle. But coming back yesterday, it was a different seat, so there was a little bit of a larger table. But all in all, I'm telling you, folks, I got to be honest, I never thought I would say this. I would fly Spirit again. I would do it again. You know exactly what you're getting. I was able to do it with just the cheap fares. I had no carry-on bag.
Did you get jammed in the middle?
Hang on a minute. Nope, I'm about to talk about that. So I had no carry-on bag, and I had no check luggage. And, of course, Spirit's the airline. If you need to check a bag at the gate, they'll whack you for like $100. So I had none of that. I had a carry-on satchel. It went right under the seat in front of me. And I didn't even feel like they were like oogling or they were like, looking for problems. It's like, it was a pleasant experience. I would fly Spirit Airlines again. Now, the seating hack. First of all, if you book your ticket on Spirit, they're going to bombard you with emails. I don't think I've gotten more emails, from anyone in that amount. A lot of email. Hey, check your bag now. Save money. Would you like to pick your seat? No, I'm going for the full cheap Spirit experience. Here's the hack. I got a great seat, actually both ways, coming and going. I got a great seat, and I did not pay. So a lot of people, they'll get suckered into paying. Some of the seats were like $45. And if you wanted the big first class size seat up front, it's like $110 upcharge. But even regular seats, they were like $45 to choose ahead of time. Or I saw some as low as like $20. And then yesterday morning, I think some of the seats were $11. But you don't need to pay, folks. What happens is with Spirit, when you check in, if you don't pay for a seat, when you book, they automatically assign you a seat when you check in. But here's the deal. This is the gigantic hack. And I read this online. I found an article, 15 things to know before you fly Spirit Airlines. Seriously.
Oh, you read
You
everything.
did your research.
I did. I did my research. And one of the things was how to do the seating hack. And what you do is as soon as you're 24 hours out and you get the notice, time to check in, don't check in. When you check in, it gives you the seat right away. You want to wait because Spirit Airlines computer, it fills the plane with all those that didn't pick a seat or pay for a seat. It fills the plane from the rear forward. And what I read was just keep watching the app and wait an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So my check-in Sunday morning was 10 a.m. on Saturday, so 24 hours before my flight. And I'm watching this thing, and 10 a.m. flight, and I noticed right at 10, the last like 3 rows, everything was open. The whole rear of the plane was open. And then I noticed that the rows started filling up from the very last row all the way forward. I did not pick my seat until 11 p.m. on Saturday night.
Whoa.
Yeah. But you can't get greedy. you got to find the sweet spot. And the sweet spot is, because I thought I was burned. So like 10:30, I go to check, and oh my God, 3 seats just opened up in the second to last row. So somebody either canceled, changed flights, or they paid for an upgraded seat. So the second to last row opened up. I'm like, son of a, I'm going to get stuck in the rear of the plane in the middle seat. So I waited a little longer, and then those seats were taken. And then everything was the exit row, like in the middle. Those were available to purchase. And I said, all right, time to check in now. Boom, 7D. I got row 7, aisle seat D on the Airbus 320. Boom, didn't pay a thing. All right. Then on the way back, same deal. I just kept watching, let the rear of the plane fill up. And again, a couple of seats popped up after they were already off the chart. And I just waited. Those filled back up. And then I decided not to get greedy. I ended up in 19. So I ended up in row 19 yesterday, but I got an aisle seat again. And then you also want to look and see where if like the next seats that appear to be assigned are middles, don't do it. Just wait until you have full rows that are available. And then it assigns you the aisle or the window first and not the middle, apparently. So that's how the hack worked, and you don't have to pay for your seat. If you do that, if you're patient, and you don't be like, oh my God, I gotta check in immediately. No, don't do that, because you're gonna get stuck in the back of the plane with the randomization. All right, that's the seating hack.